Welcome to the Media Speaks Live. Awesome, awesome Saturday show. Every Saturday, every single Saturday we do the show. It's brilliant. I'm Kyle Phillips from the Media Speaks. I'm joined today by my good friend D-Lake. D-Lake for Prez. How you doing today?
A little worse for wear, but I'm here.
D-Lake's here, and we got fucking charged up. Like, this guy's pumped right now. We got with us Sam I.B. DeGanji of The Correct Views, the band passing time in the MediaSpeaks.com.
I'm back. Yes, I missed last week. Got a mound of news for everyone, and we will be covering the Judas Priest show in our entertainment section. So stay with us.
Yeah, Sam, how long have you slept for? We were talking about this before the show started. You've slept for like 3 days?
No, it was funny. I want to mention before anybody asks, because I see the long hair and the tattoos. No meth, no coke involved. It's just life. I got up at 5:30 in the afternoon to go to work. So I work till 3 in the morning. Came home, got my car repaired at 8 in the morning. They tell me they'll have it done. By the time I finally went to bed, because when I picked the car up, then of course it was near this bowling alley. Free shout out to Eastbury Lanes. And after we bowled, we came home. We went to bed at like 8 in the evening after having gotten up at 5:30 the day before. So I've been asleep since 8 p.m. because once I finally went to sleep, I was out. I slept from 8 to 8 and got up now.
It sounds like you kind of do what I do. Like, I work until 6:30 a.m., and it's like I pretty much like slowly burn myself out over the week, and then like Friday or Saturday just have like this massive sleep party to myself. Like yesterday I literally went to bed at like 10 o'clock p.m. and I woke up at like 11 or noon.
Is there anything that feels better than when your body is starting to twitch off to sleep after one of those days? Weeks.
It really isn't. It's a necessary thing. So, jumping into some news and stuff, we were talking about a few things going on before the show. I wanted to know, and this is like kind of almost an entertainment topic, but have you guys been paying attention to Infowars at all this past week?
Just
all the
a couple
Commies.
episodes. Mostly what I've read. I tend to read them more than I see them anymore, just due to time.
You guys have to listen to the episode from, I think it was Thursday, the 21st, where they had they had Jakari Jackson go down in front of a Planned Parenthood and do a Black Lives Matter protest at like the abortion clinic, and like
it was sort of a reverse engineering protest where
I'd
they
like
were
to
saying
see
Black
that.
lives do matter, but then but the posters had all the like 50% of blacks aborted and like real issues that black people should be like more focused on.
Yeah, and like
then they
as much as
Commies.
Yeah, I disagree with like Alex Jones on abortion in some ways, but like that is a super valid point. That it's like you're worried about like what 5 or 6 people got shot by cops, which like they're not saying that isn't necessarily an issue, but like what about the fact that like black people are way disproportionately finding themselves in abortion clinics, like 50% in what was it, New York a few years ago, more than half. So I got respect for what they did, but yeah, like
that tied into a Planned Parenthood protest.
Yeah, and so they had like all like different people like Catholics and Christians, and they kind of joined with them, but then like communists showed up, at least like, well, they tied them to a communist organization by like one dude. So it's like, I don't know, it might be that one dude.
No, there was like everyone that was on film. They went to their Twitter pages with all their commie rhetoric and all their frickin' paid provocateur pages, is what I saw.
Okay, so they found him afterwards later.
Yeah, I mean, the report I saw, they found him pretty quick. Like, everyone was tweeting in, these guys are some provocateurs, look at their page and look at what they've been up to. And they have pictures of the one guy with the big beard, the blonde-haired girl, the chick that says she worships Satan and she'll kill her babies, and the other fucking commies. I'm sorry, I'm in a mood today, but yeah, that's
I
all.
was, but yeah, I was listening to it like on the podcast, like the rebroadcast a few nights ago, and like they go up and like Jakari's like, "Hey, do you want to tell us why you're here?" And they're just like little, like literally like children, like don't threaten me, stop hitting me. It's like really like there's like 4 cameras on you right now. Everybody can see what's happening.
Jakari should have been like this. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching
Yeah,
you.
right. That would have been the total proper response to that. But yeah, for anybody who didn't see this, they went down. They had their signs, you know, trying to turn Black Lives Matter into an issue about abortion, and like people showed up with like roofing paper, like roofing tar paper to hold up in front of their sign so people couldn't see it.
I
And
saw
being
that
like,
on the ads, on the pictures in the article I read. It was so childish.
yeah, and like one dude like ran up and like grabbed a microphone and cut the cord and like booked it off, but then like I think somebody from Infowars like chased him and got the microphone back.
I would want
And
to talk with Joe Biggs.
Huh?
I bet you Biggs could hold his own. Joe Biggs.
Yeah, well, like Joe Biggs and Alex Jones were like getting super like not aggressive, but like being like forwardly like stern and shit. Like Jakari Jackson, you could tell like he's kind of like a more shy dude than those two guys. Like Alex Jones is on the bullhorn at one point, and he's doing his whole like freedom in 1776 and prevailing and like all the stuff that Alex Jones says, and then he's like, now you Jakari, and he hands the megaphone to Jakari, and Jakari's just like, thanks everybody for coming out, and this turning into a good event, and you know, and like just like talks like very calmly and like goes to give it back, and Alex Jones is like, no Jakari, keep going, and Jakari's just like like not very good with the bullhorn.
Yeah, to my knowledge, and maybe you've seen my video, D Lake for Prez versus Jay Jackson of the Infowars right after he won the contest. I mean, I was like his white shadow. Every time you saw Jakari's video, you saw mine right next to it. But to my knowledge, Jakari Jackson was previously I don't know if it was federal prison, but he was a prison guard. And you can kind of see that prison guard mannerism when he's like, you know, stop right there, hold the peace, and like trying to break up little fights and scenarios in sort of like a, I don't know, ex-prison guard manner. Did you see that, Kyle?
I didn't know that he was a prison guard. And yeah, like when I say that he was like like Jakari Jackson is like he can like put his foot down and be stern and kind of like get in people's faces a little bit, but he doesn't have that same like Alex Jones screaminess. Like he's not like chomping at the bit.
Yeah, he's like a guy that used to be a prison guard is what I see.
Yeah. So like when I say that he's like not screaming into the bullhorn, I don't mean that he's like wimpy or anything like that. It's just he's not the type of dude to scream into a bullhorn ever. So like, thanks for coming out, everybody. He's like a Terminator.
And I mean, to his credit, he is, you know, kind of the black face of Infowars. I mean, I don't want that to sound wrong, but I mean, he's the black guy at the Black Lives Matter Planned Parenthood program.
And the other thing I think is interesting is that, and this is something, hear me out on this, it would be something that I think black people or African American, whatever you want to call people of color, would relate to. When I listen to music, even really extreme bands that like Combi Christ or Lords of Acid, or if my band is doing something, yeah, extreme bands like Hootie and the Blowfish, I always have this sense of freedom in terms of the First Amendment and what the First Amendment actually means. And when I was 14 years old, I was doing a full report on the PMRC, which, for listeners that don't know, is the organization that was led by Tipper Gore that was moving to censor and limit who could listen to music based on what was said in it. So instead of leaving it up to the parent, they would leave it up to the government to decide what you could listen to. I did a huge report on that as a 14-year-old kid. It's one of the things that got me into politics. And it was always
Just
Sam?
Sam, real quick. Me too. And I remember Ice-T made a song, "Freedom of Speech," like ripping
Yeah.
apart Tipper Gore and stuff. Yeah, I was into that issue too. But go ahead, proceed, Sam. Sorry.
Yes. And it always gave me a sense that you didn't really limit what somebody else wanted to say. It was just, if some idiot wanted to walk around with a Nazi t-shirt on, then I agree with Ted Nugent. By all means, let him do so. We need to know who the idiots are so that we can avoid them. I agree. The Black Lives Matter, they as in the artists of hip-hop, have written some of the most offensive music ever written. I actually detest hip-hop, but I don't hate it on moral grounds. I hate it on grounds that I don't like vocal running. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're an Indian. I know they do it a lot. No, I hate it. It's terrible.
You have more creative objections to it.
Yeah, I don't care about what they're saying. Even if it's like, yo, bitch, shake that booty. I think that's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, but I don't want to ban it. They were like trying to ban what Infowars was saying, and I thought that was insane, because you could talk about raping women in their music, and I'm not saying that there aren't bands that I listen to that could be read that way. Combi Christ possibly could. It's a consensual S&M, but you to get the point. You could read it either way. But you don't find fans of Combi Christ holding up signs to limit what other people are saying that they don't like. Usually your art gives you a respect for freedom of speech, is my point. And I somehow don't think that has happened in that community. What did D-Lake find? D-Lake, your mic is off.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Appears to be a young, darker-skinned individual wearing a Nazi swastika shirt. But, I mean, we've talked about this symbol before. I mean, it means the sun and hope, and it's like, it's kind of like Superman's S. He's like, on my planet, this means hope.
That's why Hitler took it, it meant strength and hope. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that.
He took it and perverted it, and then, so when this kid wears it, it becomes, ultra tertiary perverted.
Well, it was Hitler that put the red behind it, so he's doing it to prove a point. Hitler was the one who put the red behind it.
How to survive in prison.
Wow.
Okay, thank you. Kyle, what else do we have today going on in the news?
Kyle's perplexed. He's like, I don't even know what
that is. You can't even figure out, what's going on here. Anyways, I have a bit of something because this morning when I was at the store, I picked up a WSJ, Wall Street Journal. This newspaper that came out today now costs $3 plus tax. So
the Wall Street Journal is $3?
$3.24. I'm like, Jesus, I can go to Drudge Report for free.
Good Lord.
Emails warned over Benghazi is the headline. Hillary Clinton, was alerted to worsening security ahead of Libya attack, documents show. Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton received emails from her top aides warning about dangerous security conditions in Benghazi, Libya. We came, we saw, he died in the run-up to the terrorist attack. Oh, now it's a terrorist attack, Sam. Now it's a terrorist attack. Back in 2012, it was at last. Back in 2012, it was a spontaneous protest because of innocence of the Muslims. Yeah. But then when Mitt Romney questioned Obama on it, Candy Crawley was right there to say no. He did call it a terrorist. He didn't. He said a terrorist, threat or thing. Oh, P.S. on the side here, Obama rethinks strategy on ISIS. Continuing with the Hillary, that attack killed U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 other brave Americans. I'm adding a little bit of words here. There in 2012, documents disclosed on Friday show that. So, thanks. 2 years later, and all these Benghazi select committees and Trey Gowdy and Hillary Clinton's private fucking emails, we're still trying to get to the bottom of this mess. The messages were part of a batch of about 300 emails involving Benghazi that were made public by the State Department And Hillary's like, put them all out. She wants them to data dump everything at one time so the media can't catch up. And the judge is like, no, we're going to roll this out slowly, Kyle.
Didn't she claim this morning that she had given everything?
Oh, yeah, except for those 32,000 emails that I deemed privately all by myself and deleted. State officials already gave the emails in February to a special House committee that is looking into the Benghazi attacks and is expected to take testimony from Ms. Clinton. Yeah, she's been subpoenaed. Sid Blumenthal this week was also subpoenaed for his weird shit where he worked at the Clinton Global Foundation Initiative but was sending Hillary emails that she forwarded to other people about his advanced knowledge in Libya and Benghazi. And basically, without reading the whole fucking thing, oh, Ms. Rice. Oh, yeah. No, this is good. Let me read this. Well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as I have rationalized for years. So just survive and you'll have triumph.
I've always hated that saying. Like, there's some things that Nietzsche wrote I liked, but I've always hated that saying, that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, because it makes no sense whatsoever. It's really not true. It sounds good. It's all pithy. It's not true.
The email shed little light on the political controversy that erupted over the Obama administration's early assessment that the attack was touched off by an anti-Islamic video. And if you go to my page and my YouTube, it was on the 14th, just 3 days after the attack, that I made my anti-Islamic video dubbed over a piece of junk video. Kyle, are you there?
I am here. I am back. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I couldn't hear you guys, and all I could see was that you were screen sharing pictures of a black dude with swastika tattoos.
Oh my God!
What happened?
Ms. Clinton's aides show no alarm in the emails over then United Nations Ambassador Susan Rice's appearance on talk shows in which she described the attacks as a spontaneous response to an anti-Islamic video. A top Clinton aide wrote that Ms. Rice did make clear our view that this started spontaneously, then evolved. Well, documents are coming out now saying the attack was planned 10 days in advance. And I also want to point out something this week, that when Susan Rice did those 5 Sunday talk shows and repeated the White House talking points about a spontaneous event to be blamed on the YouTube video Innocence of the Muslims, Hillary was supposed to be the one out in the seat, and she took her place like a stupid fucking idiot, but she's not a stupid fucking idiot because then she got promoted to the National Security Advisor.
But D-Lake,
what the fuck do I gotta do?
D-Lake, you've got a point there, too, that I think a lot of people aren't going to catch. The way you said it, I think, was brilliant, but too quick.
Thank you.
They're saying in 10 days, they're saying they planned it 10 days prior. If someone is going to rob a bank, just a bank, they're going to plan it way in advance. If you are going to storm an embassy, you didn't just rise up and go running to the embassy. The fact that she would even insinuate that, and then have the audacity to think that people...
Launcher.
I'm floored that Hillary Clinton said that. Floored. When anybody goes to vote for her, remember that. She doesn't think they planned the embassy storming. Just a bunch of people got together and went, oh, charge! No.
Well, like, you have to think about it logically. Like, if that's their story that they're going with, like, real people, like, these are real people we're talking about. Like, some guys had to be hanging out, doing whatever you do over there. Some guy's like, hey, man, you see this fucking video on YouTube? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? Pulls out his phone and shows him Innocence of Muslims, and the guy's like, who the fuck made this? And he's like, America.
America made it. No one in Egypt or Libya had YouTube. No one saw the video. That was the most ridiculous fucking thing that they could assert actually happened.
Remember.
No. Remember this. Hillary is famous for saying, what difference did it make? Now, a couple weeks ago, I played that clip in its entirety, and Kyle's like, you never hear the first part, the qualifier, where she says, did some people, because of a protest, just randomly attack, or was some guys out for a walk that decided to kill some Americans? What difference does it make? Yeah, well, in the qualifier, she doesn't include, or was it a pre-planned Al-Qaeda terrorist attack? So what difference does it make that you didn't mention that, Hillary, you stupid mother? I'm sorry, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
It's true. It's mind-blowing that she does it, because there have been instances where there have been people that tried to storm an embassy or take over a government. The first time that the Nazis tried it, they got lost, and that was when Hitler was jailed and wrote Mein Kampf. They tried to take over the government. They tried to take over the Reichstag, wasn't it? Well, now they want us to believe that the entire U.S. embassy can be run over by an angry mob with no pre-planning. If that's true, that's even worse.
Yeah,
Then you
either
just
way.
gather a handful of your friends and take over an embassy, kill an ambassador. I would hope that that's what she's saying is true. That's what her argument is.
Over a YouTube video, too. Let's not forget that again.
I
Like,
thought the
do all of what
video-
Sam just said.
I thought the video was inappropriately hilarious, just like I found a lot of other movies. I mean, I don't think anybody would. I don't know. I don't know if anybody that would have the power and the intelligence to take over an embassy would also be somebody of a low enough intellect to get that angry over that video. That doesn't add up either.
RD, like, what's that picture?
Let us not forget, going back to that timeline in 2012, that was right before the 2012 presidential election, so Obama couldn't rationally call it a terrorist attack. This is a picture that my friend showed me last night of a dark-skinned individual wearing what appears to be a Hitler Nazi shirt, and it's gone viral, online. Here, look at this guy right here. I said, this is how to stay alive in prison, apparently, or something. These Bolsheviks, or whatever you call them, black Nazis. It's kind of weird.
Is this a real thing?
I mean, it's a Google image search of black guy in a Nazi shirt. So
my guess is that he's trying to prove a point, which I think is awesome.
To be fair,
we did mention the symbol, yeah. But Kyle, what are your thoughts and opinions on this?
To be fair, you can type anything into Google and it'll pull up at least 5 pictures of it. Like it does. What is that? Like it's like Rule 29 or something like that. Like if it exists, there's porn of it. Like if it exists, there's a Google image of it.
Yeah, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, it exists. If you can think to search it, there is an image that represents what you've tried to search. Mm-hmm. I've looked up ridiculous things and like just always been able to find it.
Give me something. I'll look it up.
I don't know. I'm like type in like fat mustache mermaids. I have never typed that before, but like you'll find it.
He is right. I typed in because one of the nicknames I've given Christelle is Pumpkin, and I typed in if I type in singing pumpkin, happy pumpkin, dancing pumpkin, doesn't matter what it is. Every time I get that very pumpkin.
It brings up a walrus and
yeah.
Ariel and Ariel Bold. Those are fun.
That's a good one. I've seen that before.
So close, Kyle.
I mean,
damn.
Google,
mustache.
I put in fat mustache mermaids, and Google actually managed to bring up about 100 examples of what that would look like.
Did their best.
I saw a video this week.
That's Hitler without a mustache.
Where?
I saw a video about girls doing mermaid swimming training where they wore pseudo fishtails to swim. I thought that was pretty cool.
That'd be sweet.
And one of them was
dangerous.
kind of portly.
Hitler looks like Moe from the Three Stooges without a mustache.
He does.
Which is funny because Moe always did really great impersonations of Hitler.
Also in today's Wall Street Journal on the front page, Obama rethinks strategy on ISIS, a topic that we've covered previously. ISIS. President Barack Obama, who called ISIS the JV team not too long ago. That's going to come back to haunt him. But let me just read this first paragraph. President Barack Obama's strategy against Islamic State is under increasing scrutiny after setbacks this week in Iraq and Syria. Even though last week we covered a story that hasn't really been verified fully about the U.S. commandos killing ISIS senior leader, but the White House acknowledged the problem will be inherited by his successor. It's funny they said his successor. Well, yeah, his successor, but it could be a she. We don't know. We don't know yet. But that's funny. So all the presidential candidates are going to have to campaign on what the hell they're going to do about ISIS since Barack fucked it all up.
And again, if there are two schools of thought here, and he's gotten both of them wrong. One school of thought says you stay out of there and let them handle their own affairs. Then there's the other side that says, no, you can't do that because they will get too strong, and much like Nazi Germany, they will take over everything, and you have to catch them before that happens. Anyone else noticing that Obama has failed at both schools of thought? He literally has melded the two, and it's not working. You need to do one or the other. Is there an instance of conservatives doing the former? Yes. Ronald Reagan, I remember quite distinctly, as well D. Lake, went over, and some people were against it, some people were not against it. But he flattened Gaddafi. He accidentally killed his daughter, who was a child at the time, and came back and said, now, are you going to stop? And guess what? They stopped and never, ever again bothered us, which is why I had a problem with what Hillary Clinton did. Because Reagan killed his daughter and Gaddafi did not retaliate. Gaddafi's like, fine, we will end this right here, but you leave me alone. And it was the Obama administration that had ruined, 30 years of peace with Libya that Ronald Reagan got us. And how did he get us that? He actually got us there by the rather liberal idea of walking over and beating his ass, which is exactly what he did. He flattened him. He kicked Gaddafi's ass. He was lucky to make it out of there with his hair on his head. And, that is not what Obama has done to ISIS. The other school of thought is more Ron Paul oriented. That is, you just leave them alone. And if they become a threat, you take them out. That's not what Obama's done either. So you can't argue that it's always wrong to do the, no, I'm going to kick his ass approach. That's fine. But if you're going to do it, Ronald Reagan would not still be dealing with ISIS. If Ronald Reagan had chosen to go after ISIS, this would be over by now. Don't you agree?
I'm of a third mindset, which is bomb them with Twinkies, and I've said this before. Just give them McDonald's, give them fucking condominiums, and make them fat and lazy.
Well, they've got them though. They're taking over the countries where they're already in.
Yeah,
ISIS is now advertising that they have health care.
ISIS is health.
That's interesting. I wonder how good their health care is.
But they're having a problem this week. They put in one of their ISIS magazines, they're having a problem recruiting because of conspiracy theorists that are pointing out that they're essentially run and funded by Western intelligence. And so ISIS people don't want to be a part of that. On my page, I have an ISIS parade, and I mean, when they're rolling in a gigantic convoy, I mean, don't get me wrong, but wouldn't that be the time to bomb them? I mean, they bomb suspected convoys. They see a convoy of like 4 cars driving in a line in Pakistan, and we drone bomb it, and it turns out to be they're on their way to a wedding. But when ISIS is rolling in a fucking 40-car convoy, we can't just bomb the shit out of them. I don't know.
Yeah, if you see 70 to 1,000 2003 Toyota Tacomas.
Yeah, the Toyota. And if they have an MRAP? Where did they get that?
Hey, let me ask you, what happens the first time ISIS grows too large and the Ukrainian Nazis grow too large? There could be quite a fight there. Does not include or the Orient, nor the West, nor Russia. Maybe Russia. But that would be...
I would never mess with a Ukrainian Nazi.
I would not mess with the Ukrainian Nazi. I think it will be the Ukrainian Nazis that are cut, and I'm not rooting for them, mind you. But look at your average jihadi and look at your average Nazi. They both will set you on fire. The trouble is with the Nazis is they tend to come in these swarms, whereas ISIS does it. They move in, and then they're always pushed back. The Nazis will lock into an area and focus solely on that one area. And it was only when they quit doing that, which thank God in all the heavens they did, when Hitler decided to unwisely not listen to anybody and went into Russia and got mauled. They usually are. Nazis tend to be minded to swarm one area. Like they took over Poland in such large numbers that there wasn't anything you could possibly do to get Poland back. It was done. They'd swarmed it. If the Ukrainian Nazis get that angry, there could be enough. And I would like to see this. I have no problem with it. I will go on record for saying, as long as it doesn't take out a bunch of civilians or poison the environment, I would love to watch the ISIS bastards fight the Ukrainian bastards. Bring it. Give me a camera, give me a bucket of popcorn, and I'm going to smile. Let two of the most vile, evil, nasty people on the face of the planet battle each other out and just slaughter each other. Yes, fine. It'll help the whole rest of the world. But
do you have Jewel Osco by you, Sam?
No, what is that?
Jewel Osco, it's like a grocery store. They don't have those in southern or northern Ohio.
No, I don't have those kind of stores here.
Damn, they just bought popcorn machines that have the best popcorn in the world. That's why it reminded me. But yeah, and they make this amazing
think
cheddar
about
buttery
it.
popcorn.
You wouldn't cry when one side got slaughtered.
Well, who would you rather fight one-on-one, though? Like, you in the octagon? Like, ISIS guy? Random ISIS guy? Like, middle-of-the-line ISIS guy? Or middle-of-the-line Ukrainian Nazi?
Oh, probably middle-line Nazi guy.
Oh, I take
You'd
the
fight
ISIS.
him?
Oh, no.
I'd take
sorry,
ISIS guy.
ISIS. I'm sorry. No. I thought you meant who do I take to win? Who do I take to fight? ISIS guy. Oh, ISIS guy, yeah.
When I think Ukrainian Nazi,
I won't be able to reach the jaw of the Ukrainian Nazi without a ladder.
Yeah, I just think of the type of dude in an Indiana Jones movie where Indiana Jones punches him in the face and he just looks back at him and just
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta put that guy's head into a plane propeller or something.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna get
if you're
him.
gonna win. Yeah. But I mean, an ISIS guy, it's he's trying to cut your head off, and
yeah, and if octagon, no weapons, so no weapons, I can kick the shit out of an ISIS dude.
The Ukrainian Nazis set somebody on fire last week. It was the most disgusting video I've ever seen. They set a guy on fire last week. They are absolutely going out of control. And you're not hearing about them because, again, they're doing and I've studied them a lot, they're doing what Nazis always, unfortunately, but correctly do. They are focusing on that one area over there in Crimea. They're not worrying so much about the other border. They're not worrying about what's going on, whether or not Germany or Greece is going to fight each other over the debt. They don't care if America's fighting ISIS. They don't care about China fighting Japan. They don't care. They will focus on the one area. But if ISIS stirs up that beehive, they will regret it because the Ukrainian Nazis will take that flag, paint it red, and put a swastika on it.
Well, before the fight,
that's going to be a problem in the Ukraine. I would rather they left the Ukrainian Nazis alone because there's a chance that they might not want to spread out because I know Hitler did. But you got to remember Mussolini was a fascist. He was a piece of human filth. But he didn't want to take over other places. He was quite happy to have Italy be a fascist nation. I think that's more of the lines that the Ukrainian Nazis are doing it. So they're going to be pieces of garbage, but they're not going to probably be pieces of garbage that bother anybody. But if ISIS goes over there, for instance, and stirs that up, they'll be more than happy to head south.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say before the fight, just to get Kyle riled up and ready for the fight, and maybe you too, Sam, if you're going to fight the ISIS guy, I would show them the picture on my screen of these guys driving along the beach in brand new Toyota trucks. I mean, Kyle, you have a truck. Sam, you have a van. I mean, are your guys' trucks and vans as nice as this brand new ISIS?
Oh my God!
I'd be like, look at these trucks. Are you ready to fight or what?
You know what's weird is that truck. I have the newer version of that truck, but mine isn't in half of as nice. Those ones are in such better condition than mine. That's a solid 6-7 years newer, but that's known as the good one. Those old ones, the late 90s, early 2000s, that's the one that you want, and people actually buy those and refinish them and stuff. So you could probably get a lot of rednecks. Like hillbilly type dudes like those trucks a lot.
Don't forget to put a flagpole on the
Well,
back.
it reminds me
Yeah.
of what one of the few things that George W. Bush correctly said was the thing about your average Middle Eastern terrorist and your extremist of Islam is that they're really good at blowing up things they don't have with weapons that they couldn't make. And there's another example of them, ISIS. We got these weapons that we stole from here. We got this car that we stole from here. We've got health insurance. Okay, you can make an internet site, but they can't make anything. They can't produce anything. The money they have is all stolen, and it's usually put back into fighting or hurting people. They never have an infrastructure. They never have a production of anything.
All right,
And
I hear you, but I'm gonna play
underlines
devil's advocate to you, Sam. What if, let's say hypothetically, ISIS does take over the Middle East, they make their Islamic State 40 years from now, and like they're doing pretty well, they haven't attacked anybody in a little while, and they come out with the new smart device by ISIS.
I don't think they would. Again, I think they're always going to be trying to take over the whole world and convert them to Islam. If they just wanted one little cesspool of evil and they let the civilians go, well, I'm not in favor of anybody losing land that was rightfully theirs, so we won't get into that debate. So maybe in that instance I wouldn't. But if they just want, they wanted to exist in their own little hellhole, I don't really care. I don't think we need to be doing business with them. I don't think if the Nazis do end up keeping Crimea, that America needs to be buying their clothes or buying. No, I don't think so at all. I'm philosophically against them. However, if they just want to live there and they're not trying to take anything over, I don't really care. ISIS, I don't think, has that ability. They have to D-Lake. No, we're not going to make a cell phone until D-Lake is wearing a turban. No. And I think that's what's going to be their downfall. I think if they'd stop now, if ISIS would stop, I think the whole world would be so confused that they'd have time to really build up something. And then, of course, they could stall, and they're like, well, hey, we want our country back. And ISIS could stall and say, well, we want to do this easy. And they could end up keeping it. If ISIS stopped right now, they'd actually have what they wanted.
Well, I don't see them stopping anytime soon.
Not at all.
Unless they're physically
They are too one-minded, too stupid to do it.
All right,
Sam,
D-Lake.
Yeah. What?
Let's say hypothetically 60 years in the future you got a great little condo for yourself, you only have to work 30 hours a week, you work for the ISIS corporation, you got free healthcare, you got your free ISIS healthcare.
Yeah, of course.
They're taking care of you, you're moving up at the ISIS corporation, you're making a decent salary,
yeah.
doing all right, and your boss comes to you and he says, yeah, it looks like that promotion you're looking for next quarter, as long as your numbers stay the same, it looks like you're on track to get it, but D-Lake, if you really want to be a company men wear turbans.
Then I'm wearing a frickin' turban, guys.
They gotcha. Then they
got me. Well, I mean, they have the best healthcare program, so what do you want me to say? I mean, I could probably find links to ISIS recruiting here on Drudge, but the top headline has just recently changed while we were live today to say that NSA winds down once secret phone records collection program. Okay, we could click on that, but let's address Rand Paul's filibuster this week.
Definitely.
It was a 10-hour plus filibuster. I did a live show in the 9th hour predicting that Rand would go 24 hours. I was willing to bet people $20, but no one wanted to bet me. I would have been paying them had they done that. Instead, I just got comments like, you're a faggot, and I covered that last night. But what did you guys think about
I gotta pause. I'm sorry. I have to. You were willing to bet somebody $20 that Rand Paul was going to speak for 10. And
well, I was willing to bet that he would speak for 24 hours and set the record.
Okay. Now, this guy said, D-Lake, you're a faggot. My reply to him would be, no, you are the faggot, because if you thought he was so incredibly wrong, you were too stupid to take his $20. That's what came to mind immediately.
Yeah.
If you were so sure you were right, and he was so wrong, I wouldn't have taken the bet.
I would have sent that guy the money, because I was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I woke up the next morning after doing that live show,
and I don't
and
want
we
to
spoke
digress.
for 10 hours.
I don't want to digress from the show, but do you ever notice how hard it is to give away money online? I have a video that's still up where if somebody mocks Common Core by putting that video on that website, I would give $5 to their favorite charity. 2 people have done it. It's a $50 limit. 2 people have done it. It's impossible to give money away on the internet.
Yeah,
You give it directly to them?
No, we should title today's show "Free Money Giveaway" and see how many
It
hits
is
we
titled Free Money. Do you like it's called Free Money?
get. Free Money
Free
Giveaway.
money giveaway.
That's what we'll call today's show and see how many hits we get.
And if
Free money.
anybody is listening, if anybody is still listening, if you put the comment in the video or the description. If you go to my site and you share that Common Core video, there's still $40 waiting to go to charities.
If you make a video of yourself eating a vat of macaroni and cheese with no shirt on, I'll give you $5.
Fiverr. Yeah, we got to put it on Fiverr, right? But Kyle, can we get serious for a second? Can you tell me what you thought about Rand Paul's filibuster on the Patriot Act and what you think it means for the country, maybe his presidential aspirations? Jeb Bush came out and said that Rand Paul's all wrong. He's all for surveillance. Scott Walker wants more surveillance.
How is it that we still have people like this running for anything in any elected office who are still like, yeah, the Patriot Act's good? Like, what percentage of Americans, what percentage of Americans agree with the Patriot Act?
Kyle, according to Bill Clinton, I mean, the world of politics and the world of reality are 2 different things. So he has separate rules for him and then for everybody else, you know. And that's what we can come to expect from a Hillary Clinton presidency, in my opinion. But Sam, what were your thoughts? And Kyle, if you could interject on the whole Rand Paul's filibuster. I mean, do you think it was a good thing, Kyle?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm trying to find out what percentage of Americans
Kyle
want
was so
the
comfortable
Patriot
in
Act.
his room today, doesn't he? He's just like laying on his bed, looking up stuff.
I'm just, laying on the bed, looking stuff up, chilling with my pups. Like, how could you be for the Patriot Act and get elected to anything? I don't know how that. It's ridiculous to me.
Sam, what do you think? Or not?
Sam, he's arguing about Combs, but I only saw clips of the Rand Paul.
I had muted out due to traffic outside. Go ahead. What were you asking?
How did you feel about Rand Paul's filibuster, Sam?
I thought that he should have. I don't know. I expected him. Like you said, I expected him to go a lot longer. But I like that he's continually. His main issues are things that I think are important to the country. There are minor issues that all 3 of us disagree with him on. But so far, since the time he has been in office, I can't think of anything that he's ever done that isn't making me more and more likely to vote Republican this year, which hasn't happened in a very long time. And again, he's going to get on the ballot. Last time I did it was Ron for the primaries.
Yeah, and did you guys see that it's Fox News that's dictating who is going to be in the debates? I mean, we're letting mainstream media and these fuckheads and George Stephanopoulos, who gives money to the Clinton Foundation, dictate, the debate. I mean, come on, dude. So tired of this crap. NSA winds down one secret phone records collection program. The National Security Agency has begun winding down its collection and storage of American phone records after the Senate failed to agree on a path forwarded to change or extend the once secret program ahead of its expiration at the end of the month. So like, oh, it's about to expire. Oh, well, we're trying to do the right thing. You want to pee down? Okay. Go ahead, guys. Just got my weed.
I think it's important to note that there isn't a time when ISIS is willing to make peace with someone. For instance, if if they take over a nation, there's never a time where they're going to say, "All right, this war is over, and we're now going to peacefully leave you alone." That's not ever going to be the case. So if they are going to be carrying, you can imagine they're at least going to be a problem for the next decade, next 20 years. Who knows? They're going to continue to be a problem, and people like them of that ilk are going to be a problem. They want us to believe that they must never shut down the Patriot Act because it's obvious that these enemies of ours and the world are not fair-minded, logical people. So we can't allow ourselves to be gripped under the Patriot Act forever because, we tried it in '01. I was not against it because we were told it was temporary. I was not against it at the time. And I became more and more against it, and not because I changed my mind on it. I thought it was a reasonable thing to do for a limited period of time, and I was lied to, and now I'm against it. And I wish, it hadn't been in place, but I didn't know, you don't know you're being lied to.
Mm-hmm. And
you just brought up a point which I didn't even put this together, but Rand Paul, I did see one of the clips in his filibuster, said that the Patriot Act was put in place by executive order, and that the president can remove it pretty much the same way, and that the president is saying, oh, well, Congress should repeal it, but at the same time, the president has all the power to remove it and should remove it and it's easier for him to do so. And you put that together, if Rand Paul got elected, there's no doubt that he would immediately repeal the Patriot Act then. Like, that's one big upside. If you disagree with him on anything else, that's a pretty big deal that he would immediately repeal the Patriot Act.
Did you see that Edward Snowden...
That's a wonderful point.
Did you see, Kyle, that Edward Snowden over there in Russia was actually in favor of what Rand Paul said? I mean, he didn't come out like in full political support of Rand Paul. He was sort of like, whether you agree or disagree with this gentleman, Mr. Paul, he still made very valid points. And, I mean, that's sort of my opinion as well.
Excellent. Yeah, because he's doing a great job.
And Rand Paul, I mean, he is not perfect. I don't dislike Rand Paul. Like, I don't consider him a libertarian, but I don't dislike him. And I don't know, like, I see what you're saying, Sam. Like, the closer the election gets, the more, and, like, it is a little bit of pandering by all sides, but, like, I see myself more and more I'll definitely vote for Rand Paul in the Republican primaries because that doesn't affect my ability to vote for anybody else in the general election. But general election, if Rand Paul made it, it would be tough for me not to vote for him.
It's also tough for me to imagine any other Republican getting me anywhere near the R. I mean, there is
Ted Cruz could get me there depending on what he was running for. Like, Ted Cruz could get me to vote for him. Like, I'm trying to think of like. Like, if it was Ted Cruz versus Hillary Clinton, and, like, Gary Johnson's expected to get 1.5%, like, I'm not going to say that I would, but I could see myself voting for Ted Cruz in that situation.
I don't know. I don't know if I would go with Gary
it's hard
or not.
To say
I would have to see
there.
how good. I'd have to see how good Hitler was doing.
Yeah, it's hard to say until you're in that situation. But Ted Cruz. I don't hate Ted Cruz. I'd say I like Rand. And, I still think there's better people, but I think I like Rand.
I like Rand. I think one of the things that would hurt him, and maybe the same thing that hurt his dad, they have a very dry personality, and
yeah.
They would be better suited for the average English population. I, however, happen to love English comedy, and of course, English comedy is only funny if you fill it with a lot of people like Rand and Ron, who usually aren't. And they remind me of those usually aren't people, and I like them. I don't mind that personality, but I think that it could be a hard sell for America because they're very dry. And Rand,
you know what they are?
Rand is drier than Ron was. Ron would cut jokes, and Rand, I swear, the man becomes more and more immune to a smile with each passing month.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there is stuff in his past. Like recently, I was reminded of the whole thing with Abby Martin from RT, where he threatened to have her like press credentials taken
Luke
and stuff
Rudowski.
because she asked him a question. Luke Rudowski, yeah, there's been a few times like that.
Yeah, I
But-
don't like that. That's the part. That's the not liking Rand Paul part.
But you know what they
Valid, though.
kind of are in a lot of ways? Like, Rand Paul, in a lot of ways, is kind of like the guy, like, everybody has this person in their life, like, maybe it's an uncle, you know, like an uncle who does very, very well for himself and has a nice house and a nice car and stuff, and every time you see him, you know, he's giving you little tips of, like, things you could do to better, like, you know, get on the track he's on so you can be like him, and, like, you just kind of take it as, like, I don't need your advice. Fuck you. Fuck you, Uncle Moneybags. I don't need to hear from you. And that's kind of like what Rand Paul is, or Ron Paul is to the nation. Is like they're like, look, you need a stable currency. You need to know what the bank issuing the currency is doing. And they're like, I don't need your advice. I'm gonna do what I want.
could see that. I could see that. Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
You know what I can see on that doggy cam?
Yeah.
With Helena's claw right there, it looks like she's giving me the bird, flipping me the finger.
Helena, that's rude. Why would you do
How
that?
dare you give
The
me
dog
that
is
finger.
flipping off to you like, oh, now it moves.
Oh, now she's moving. Okay, thank you. I love doggy cam. Did you guys see after David Letterman's last show, they just took that cool bridge and all his set and just threw it right in the dumpster?
What was it?
You know
They put
David
it-
Letterman?
Yeah, they threw. That's great.
You know his set piece that's always behind him with the
Yeah.
bridge and the city and stuff? It's kind of a miniature thing.
You don't think that was a publicity
Right
stunt?
Right after the show, they just threw it all in the dumpster. It could have been a publicity
Dude.
stunt.
I think it was a publicity stunt. It's just like that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer got like what show was it? Like some show from the 70s. They threw out the set and he turned.
Oh
his
yeah,
entire
yeah,
apartment
yeah. He
into-
had the set. He had the set like the dating game or something in his apartment.
Something like that. Yeah.
They're
and
like,
so, like,
they were like, how the hell should we decorate the interior to Kramer's apartment? We've never really seen it. Well, how about we say that he recovered the set to the dating game and that's his living room. And then he's also got a
Yeah.
hot tub that he powers, and he's got an elephant shower head, and like every time we're in Kramer's apartment, it's like, what the hell? He's like, movie phone. Why don't you just tell me the movie that you want to see?
Like, I'm surprised, honestly. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me that they would throw that out unless it was a publicity stunt. Like, everything has value, and like, how much would, like, the picture,
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the same
Yeah.
picture as me of, like, the bridge, right,
Yeah.
where they're carrying the bridge out.
Yeah.
How much would somebody have paid for
Yeah.
that on eBay? How much would
Totally.
you personally have paid for that on eBay? $100? Like,
You know what, Kyle? What's funny is I said everything that you're saying right now, except for the fact that I didn't view it the same way as a quote-unquote publicity stunt. And when you said that and put it in that context, I was like, oh, this is like a Howard Stern, David Letterman, Bill Murray getting drunk on the show and then going on MSNBC. Did you guys see Bill Murray?
Now, I've
showing
never
up-
liked Letterman all that much. Was he angry when he left or not?
Did you see Bill
No.
Murray showing up totally drunk at MSNBC? I'm going to find that while you guys...
yeah,
Publicity
and
stunt,
Sam,
though, yeah.
like, my understanding, which, like, I'm sure people will disagree with me, I'm no expert on the subject, but my understanding is that, like, David Letterman is part of the old generation of the late night, like, people, like, the guys from, like, like, late 70s up through, like, some of them started in the 80s up through, like, about, like,
Yeah, no.
5-10 years ago, and all the other guys like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, their ratings are starting to go up, and he's starting to fall behind.
I don't like
and so,
any
like,
of those shows.
I don't.
Like, I
like
never
Jimmy
know
Kimmel,
who any
but
of these
that's it.
people are.
I know I
Like-
like Jimmy Kimmel because some of the prank stuff that he does or whatever, but like the point is, a lot of people are saying that he was retiring now while he's like still near the top, like still competing with them for ratings, so that it's not like he gets canceled later, or like just like kind of bowing out. That's how I understand it. But I don't know, Jimmy
It
Kimmel's
could be,
alright.
but I don't know. It's like it's just that unless you're somebody that has cable TV and goes to movies, and you, well, no, I'm not even going to say cable TV because I don't have cable, but most of what I watch is documentaries and monster horror movies, things like that. You have to like sitcom television, which I don't like because I hate laugh tracks, which is why I think it's so funny that they're on here. I don't usually think they're funny. That like the Soup Nazi was funny, but I don't think that Seinfeld. I've never understood what the hell everybody was laughing at. I don't think it's funny usually, unless you're somebody that really likes sitcoms, really likes reality TV, and except for the Osbournes, I didn't. And I'll be the first to admit that the Osbournes suck. I'm just that much of a fan.
Can I make a recommendation to you that'll make you love sitcoms?
What?
All right, and I'm not recommending anybody do or don't do anything, but if you ever are in a situation where you may be obliged to partake in use of cannabis, perhaps you're in Colorado or Washington where it's legal.
Only in Colorado would you do that.
Smoke, and preferably smoke and eat marijuana so that you get some of the more... I forget what it's called, but when you digest it, it interacts differently. And watch a sitcom as if it's real life. Like, watch a sitcom as if, like, I'm actually peering in, like, this is real. And, it's creepy how, like, everybody in a sitcom is a total asshole. Like, there's no good people on sitcoms. They're all horrible, horrible people. Like, kind of living the worst lives. Like, it's really, really hilarious.
That's interesting. That is
like think about any sitcom. They're all horrible people. Like Saved by the Bell recently got added to Netflix, and I watched that all growing up. So I'm watching Saved by the Bell, and there's an episode where like Zach and Kelly break up, and Slater and what's her name break up, and then like they get in fights in class, and so the principal Belding, they get sent to his office. He's trying to tell them how like you have to like know how to interact with people and stuff, and his wife calls. And like they get in a fight, and so like Zach and Slater are in Zach's room, and they're like talking about like, oh, those girls are gonna call and apologize. I tell you what, like we're not gonna be the first to call. And then Belding walks in. He's like, what are we gonna do, guys? And it's like, what the fuck? A principal cannot be in a child's bedroom. Like, who let you into the house? Like, hi, I'm your child's principal. I'm here to hang out and talk about girl troubles. No.
I don't know. That exactly. You know, you'd have to. That does sound rather weird, but I think unless you're somebody that likes sitcoms, or you go to a lot of movies, of which I'm probably going to go see Mad Max tonight at a drive-in. Free shout out to Lynn Drive-In, second oldest drive-in. It's sun shining right now. Pray for me, listeners. Pray.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like.
Are you beautiful up there too in Chicago? Good, we're set. Yeah.
Yeah, we're about like level as far as like.
Unless the South has a surprise time apart.
Yeah, so like we.
If you've got good weather, we've got good weather. We're set. We're gonna be nice for driving. But unless you go to a lot of movies, the listeners are like, "What's his point?" Unless you go to a lot of movies and you like sitcoms, I never know who the hell anybody on Letterman or Kimmel or anybody else ever is. The only thing I know about, I think it was Kimmel, I might be wrong, I'm sure D-Lake over there, Mr. Quick will know, when, and I'll be recovering the show in a minute, when Richie Faulkner joined Priest, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel's show that they debuted him on, and then the next day it came up as a search on my feed. But
I see what you're saying though. Like I work at.
They're the only people that's been on Kimmel that have any idea who they are.
I look at the magazine rack at my work, and it's like I don't know who any of these people are. Like occasionally it'll be like, Robin Williams because he died. I know who he is.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
and even new bands, they never pick new bands that I listen to. For that matter, even a mainstream band that I don't listen to, but I like them. They're all right. Black Keys. I think they're overrated, but they're all right.
Yeah,
you never see the Black Keys in an article usually. It's always Beyonce or Justin Timberlake or somebody else that I don't care about.
Okay, Kyle, you guys both know who Bill Murray is.
Yeah.
I'm set up to play this 1-minute video. I'm going to play it. It's the perfect segue. It's entertainment. After we play this, we'll get into Sam's concert touring and review. but let me play this first. Here we go. Was Bill Murray drunk?
There's a guy from Chicago who's just kind of barged in here.
Right after his appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, Bill Murray headed over to MSNBC and interrupted the live broadcast of The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell.
Do you mind if we finish talking about Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton?
Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
Get to that now.
Okay.
While the actor was waiting for his turn on the show, he took a tumble and fell off a stool. In talking about his Letterman interview, he appeared to ignore his words.
You know. I think you're doing great. Great, and he said, would you come?
You know what's weird? Like, Bill Murray might be the only person who, like, I don't know, and I don't care. I'm entertained.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but he's hilarious. He can't even keep his eyes open. He just got... Here, wait, it's coming up. They show him doing all the shots of vodka with Letterman on the last show, the very last show.
Turn it up just a little bit, do you like?
Drunk. He took shots of vodka with Letterman. Then had wine with dinner, all before going on.
I just did the Letterman show, then went to dinner, had oysters, rosé wine, red wine, duck, and red wine, green grass fed hanger steak. And then rushed here to do your show.
You never know what to expect.
I got a feeling it's a stunt.
I don't think it's a stunt. I think it's just after a very... You got to remember, and I want to watch how I word this, because an artist can go too far, and a comedian's an artist. An artist can go too far in this direction. As long as they don't overdo this. When you are established, and and Metallica is a good example of this, you really, really know what you're doing. When one of the times I saw Metallica live, Kirk was playing the solo, and he's like probably one of my favorite guitarists that ever lived, and he just butchered the end of it. When he came out of it, he hit the pedal, and it went bang over, and he went like this, and he looked, and everybody kind of gave a half chuckle, and he goes like this. And just the rest of the show was flawless. But he fucked up so bad that he just looked and laughed. I think it was.
Yeah, I saw Ben Folds once. I saw Ben Folds once, and halfway through a song, he forgot the lyrics, and he's just like, sorry, I forgot the lyrics for a second, and then he just kept on.
That's awesome. Yeah, anything like that happens is. But I think it was one of those things where he was self-confident. He's Bill Murray. His movies still do well. He's older, but he's not dated. Everyone likes him. He had a few drinks with Letterman to, see the end of the show go down, and then, well, it got him. And
Have you seen? There's a similar clip where it's like Johnny Depp like wins an award, and he goes up on stage, and he's just like not just trash. Like he looks like he's like somebody who like is drunk as hell and had to have been doing some other drugs. He just like mumbles and he's like holding on to the microphone. Like it's hilarious. But again, it's like who cares?
I mean, actors and entertainers seem to periodically do that, don't they? I mean, remember the guy from Back to the Future on Letterman when he was kicking this thing and going all crazy?
Crispin Glover?
Yeah, that guy's out of his mind.
Dude, have you seen his music video? Clowny Clown?
No, I'm going to definitely have to look that up. But right now I'm looking up Judas Priest Tour 2015. Sam, do you want to get into that?
Yes, I do. And guys, the show's already gone long, so probably next week I'll give you 2 Science Fronts updates.
Don't forget to comment on Kyle's awesome camera work on the show. Yeah.
And I like the SIG cam.
I like the moving cam. Yeah, that's awesome.
For those of you that don't know, I've been very, very fortunate lately. I have gotten to see Exodus and Testament, and then I got to see Saxon with Priest. Good news is, if anybody wants to go, I've taken Kyle's advice here, which is always a good thing to do. I'm not doing it on Facebook because I'm too angry with Facebook. But YouTube forces you to have a Sam DeGangi site in order to have a correct views site. You will be happy to know, listeners who like the entertainment side, the Sam DeGangi site will now always include concert clips, video clips, articles. Some of it will bore you to death. I've got 30 seconds of me meeting Paul Hoagland. However, I got me talking to Zetro from Exodus for almost 10 minutes on there, and he's talking about the Football Hall of Fame and stuff, just chilling with people that I'm lucky enough to get to talk to. I'm not going to keep a camera in their face the whole time I'm talking to them if it's going long. But all kinds of cool pictures, videos of Priest are up. I have Saxon videos up. I'm going to try to get a better cell phone for video because it sounds terrible. Turn your audio down. You're not going to want to hear any of it. But it's cool to watch if you like it. And I told D. Lake and Kyle, having stated that, YouTube.com, it's Sam DeGangi, not Correct Views. I'm going to go ahead and quickly review the show. If you haven't seen Saxon, I think you're going to want to at least look into who they are, because Saxon is a band that has been around since, I want to say, the last 30 years or so. And for a good first song to check out by them would be Crusader. It ties a little bit in politically to what we talk about here, in that they mentioned from the stage that it was banned in Turkey and Dubai and a few other places. They're not even allowed to go to those countries anymore. And they're singing about the bravery of a crusader. They're not endorsing, taking over someone's country, but of course we know how touchy nations like Turkey and Dubai can be. So make sure you check out Saxon. They were very, very nice. I got to watch their singer stand on a cop's Segway, which she let him do. I thought that was nice of her. And I also think it was really nice that when we were talking to all of them, they were all very interactive with us, very friendly. Their music was tight. Check out the bass work of Saxon. Their bass player is not your typical metal bassist. He's not overly funky like Primus either. He plays almost like a rhythm guitar for a thrash band than like a bass player for one. And Saxon's not really thrash. Part of what makes them as heavy as they are isn't their guitar, it's their bass, which is different. So
exactly. Wait, can I just interject real quick, Sam?
Please do.
Last night when I was covering You're a Faggot, the guy that commented on my Rand Paul filibuster video,
yes,
I did a whole rant about people that comment stupid crap on YouTube. But I started with some Jimi Hendrix, and Sam, the bassist, the white bassist, and that looks kind of like Kyle, and the white crazy drummer that how awesome were those guys in the Jimi Hendrix Experience?
Yeah, well, you're right.
They didn't,
when Hendrix was taking his solos, it was that bassist that held the whole thing together. It would have all fallen
Hendrix's guitar made a lot of, and his singing vocals made a lot of those songs, but it was that driving bass and those dominant drums that really solidified the group.
Because when he started doing those noise solos and stuff before he started shredding, when he was just fuzzing it out, if it wasn't for the bassist, you're right, there wouldn't have even been a song.
That'd be interesting to go through and pull bass out and see what it sounds like on some live performances.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, Sam, who you were talking about Priest, and you also saw who else? Tempest or
Testament and Exodus. I want to get the Priest real quick though, because this was amazing. I've been trying to do this since I saw them in 1990. We were talking to Saxon and waiting out back, hoping Priest would come out. I unfortunately missed Tipton, but who I think is the best living guitarist. I think he's probably even better than Hammett. Not the fastest necessarily, but he has the most finesse in his speed, is a good way to put it. The singer, Rob Halford, came out and actually took the time to, you could tell he was kind of in a hurry. It seemed like he was trying to get to their room because I think they had to be at the ass end of nowhere the next day. But he did stay out and talk to us. I have pictures with him that I'm going to put up. There's a video that's on Christelle's phone that's going to be going up where we got to meet him. And live, I want to make sure I mention just a few things since I want to cover these shows properly. Priest always sounds good. Always, always, always. Christelle saw him 2 days in a row. I saw him one. He missed one note. One. That's the only note she said he messed up for the entire 2 times. She was at Rock on the Range and in Cincy. I was in Cincy. Flawless, always flawless, without a doubt. So I'm not going to necessarily go into what they sounded like musically. Just know that they were 99% flawless. How's that? In 2 days. I do want to mention what they played, because some of what they played was pleasant to hear and unexpected. They did Jawbreaker from Defenders of the Faith, which took me and the guys standing beside me a second. And I knew the song was coming, and I still forgot that it was on the set list. They did 4 songs from Redeemer of Souls. They did. They open with the beginning guitar parts of Battle Cry, but they don't do it. They use it as an intro to Dragonaut, which I think was probably the original intro, in my opinion, for Dragonaut. My guess is that Rob and Glenn decided to put that thunder before Dragonaut, and they ended up making Battle Cry its own song. I bet you that's what happened, because live they're using it together with the thunder. But they're playing all of Dragonaut, Redeemer of Souls, Halls of Valhalla, and
I really wish I had a Thunderbolt sound effect. Kyle, do you have one?
Yeah, I'm counting Battle Cry. It was 3.
Okay.
And excellent show, excellent set. If they come near you, make sure you go. D-Lake was talking about Exodus and Testament. I'll do Exodus first because they played first. It is great that Zetro is back. For those of you that know who Exodus is, they've had a few singers. I want to say 3 or 4. One of them passed on, their original singer. It is the band that Kirk Hammett from Metallica started. He also taught Gary Holt a little bit of what he knew. Gary Holt is now not only in Exodus, but also in Slayer, now that Steve Hanneman died of a spider bite. He wasn't on tour with them. Actually, he's with Slayer, so it was Exodus without Gary. They sounded great.
Can you just
wait? Who died of a spider bite?
Yeah, can you address real quickly how bad it would suck to die from a spider bite? Henneman, was it a brown recluse? What happened?
I'm not sure what kind of spider it was, but I think I mentioned it on this show when it happened. I always thought that Jeff Henneman bit spiders. I was very amazed to find out that a spider bite. I mean, the man literally taught himself how to play guitar and helped invent thrash metal.
Yeah, but what a crappy ending to his autobiography.
Yes, indeed. And oddly enough, Exodus and Testament had a huge role in that as well. They sounded great. It's the singer that I liked best with them. He's back. Check out Salt the Wound, and they did Toxic Waltz, which was an older one. They didn't do my favorite, Changing of the Guard, but I was very happy to hear Toxic Waltz. And
Sam, I have really no idea all these songs, but you're being very specific. And if it was something that I was totally into, I'd be like, this guy knows his shit. That's what
I'm hoping.
Like to me, Sam. Okay.
I'm hoping. And the last one I want to cover is Testament. You can't go wrong with Testament. Alex Skolnick, I got to meet him. There's a video of me meeting him on aforementioned page. He was in Trans-Siberian Orchestra, for those of you that like them. He was in prior to the shredder they have now. Just absolutely like one of those. It's like seeing Steve Vai or Zakk Wylde. You just watch that guitarist, because there's not many guitarists like that in the time. Skolnick played, and they did the entire first 3 albums of Testament, so I'm not going to name off individual songs. They did the first 3 albums. But it was a powerhouse. That mosh pit was insane. And all night long, it's interesting that all 3 of these acts are older acts, and the singers were on point. Testament stuff is really low when he's not doing the shouty thing. His voice was awesome. Zetro, I want to say he's 51, and he sounds a lot like Brian Johnson of AC/DC. He's just much heavier, but the singers are almost exactly alike, minus the accent. All of his vocals were on all night. He's holding his notes longer than ever, and every time he did one, people cheered. And like I said, Rob Halford was his usual just about flawless self. So that's my review of the 2 shows. Saxon, again, I'm going to be looking up more and more of their stuff as we go. Go to my site on youtube.com. Look up Sam DeGangi. I will be posting I've got a bunch of stuff going to go up. I have bits and pieces of cell phone stuff that I've collected over the last 5, 6 years. I've got the entire Judas Priest Epitaph show on a cell phone. Not nearly as impressive now that they posted the show anyway, but in any event, it'll be up. And so that I have a new entertainment site going up. I took Kyle's idea and all the stuff that you want to show people that doesn't fit into your page. I realized that when I put my snowboarding video on my Correct Views page that it just wasn't going to work. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to look up Sam DeGangi on YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna send you a link in chat. So go ahead and do your entertainment while I do.
Well, yeah, send me a link. I'm just pointing out that when I put in just plain Sam DeGangi,
it doesn't actually have. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it doesn't.
Media speaks.
Yeah, it doesn't have the. I don't know what the URL is. I'll have to look it up real quick. Do yours while I send this.
Yeah, but I mean, let me just point out that we're so excited to have Mr. Samuel I.B. DeGangi as part of the Media Speaks, so that when I look up his name, it's going to be a bunch of Media Speaks videos.
That's great. That is.
Yeah. So thank you. I mean, we really need to build this channel back up. So that's a great thing. Kyle. I mean, Sam. P.S. Your entertainment went so long. You don't get any science news today, but that's cool. We did it.
No, I said I'm doing a double dose of science next week. I gave him 2 last week.
You lost your science privileges for the episode.
Your science privileges have been revoked because of your overlong entertainment music reviews, but we covered Judas Priest, Exodus, and also Testament, and that was great. Thank you for that, Sam. And people that are fans of that music and those bands are going to be really excited by everything that Sam said, I do believe. Kyle, did you have anything in entertainment? What's new with you, buddy?
I have some science news.
Oh, science news.
Petting
dogs.
Yeah, my science news. Huh?
Petting dogs relieves stress. Is that in your science?
It does. Well, that's just a fact. Everybody knows that. But my science news is that Bill Nye the Science Guy is on Netflix now.
Oh, my science news is that Oculus is not adverse to porno overtaking their technology.
Wait, what do you mean it's not adverse?
You know the Oculus Rift? They said, hey, if porn makers want to get involved in this brand new 3D technology, then, more power to them. I mean, that's how we built the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you look, most technologies spawn from porn. Like people don't like to admit it, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying. For them not to be adverse to it. I mean, if they came out and said no porno can be on Oculus, that would sink the company. Kyle, am I right or wrong?
Well, it might not sink them, but they'd have they would. You want to open the door to it. Yeah. It's like putting up a sign on your bakery that says, like, no gay people served here. Like, you might not go out of business, but you're a lot more likely to go out of business than if you didn't have that sign. Yeah. Like, porn drives industry.
No gay wedding cakes, no Muslim cakes, nothing like that. I keep seeing this meme on Facebook that's like, someone's making a phone call, will you make me a gay cake that says something, something? And they're like, no. And then they're like, well, you have to. Like, now people are finally using the Constitution as, like, an excuse to get all these gay privileges. I don't know. Do I ever know what I'm talking about?
Every technology we've talked about on here before, how like the internet was, investors were interested in it because of spikes in porn traffic. In the same way, like the Wright brothers, like one of the Wright brothers, his wife had said that if you're outside of the country, it doesn't count, and so he spent the next 20 years inventing an airplane to try and speed up the travel between nations, so that he could get some strange.
Sam, I think you tried to send me the link to your Sam DeGangi page. The whole link didn't come through. I can't get there. It just further proves that, Sam, you're such a great reporter and researcher and commentator. And
that's the page.
Editorialist, but you suck at using the internet, so I don't know how you become successful.
That's absolutely not true. I actually have a degree in IMT. I sent you the whole link.
I know. You told me that. No, the link
you got it in like 1992, though.
My videos, !O equals you. Thank you. Sam, you got to put the watch now link, or like send me a link to an actual video.
I could do that. Hold on.
Try that.
Oh, did he send you the link to like his dashboard?
He sent me a link to nothing. The link is like, watch O equals U. I'm like, what?
Did you try it? Is that the short link?
Yeah, I clicked it, dude. That's not what's coming up. I mean, that's not.
And
you go,
YouTube's just like,
Merry
nope,
Christmas. This is me interviewing, me talking to the singer of
Thank you.
Exodus, Mr. Zetro Souza. Very nice guy.
Okay, let's give it a try. Meeting and talking to Exodus. Okay. Sam Daiganji. So it's 2 words, your last name. Is your last name really 2 words?
Some people separate the two, some don't. Daiganji means House of Ganji. That was the actual last name is Ganji, but Italians and Sicilians oftentimes will have House of, and that's D.
I get it.
That means that you were a slave, right?
I don't think.
I think that's what it means.
I
don't think they had slaves there. But
no, I think that's what it means, Sam. Did your ancestors? No.
I'm a slave to perfection. I guess that must be like.
Isn't it like I know like Irish? It's like
like.
if you're Irish, if it's like McDonald, I think means like that you were a slave, and like O'Donnell means like you owned McDonald. Like,
no.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a thing?
What if your name was Oganji instead of D-Ganji?
Oh.
Would you be like Ben Affleck and try to get your previous slave history removed from the mainstream media?
No, but I think that
I found your video, Sam. That
yes.
link worked, and
the Judas Priest one and the Saxon one have like 100 hits, and they sound like a Remington razor. So a lot of people are going there just to look at the video, which is good because there's a lot of people caring about it.
Well, that's why it's great that you talk about that sort of thing in entertainment, because we need those hits. Again, Kyle, did you have anything in entertainment? I mean, have you seen anything good or recently, or that you thought was really fun, or did you do anything magnificent? Your girlfriend's like, you never do anything for me anymore.
Yeah, I've just been working on the pool. I mowed the lawn the other day and
pool,
put in some flower boxes.
Flower boxes sound fun. What's that all about? Are you like Tim Allen with the home improvement, or what's going on over there?
Yeah.
I saw you walking around. It looked pretty nice.
It's all right. It's small, but yeah, we got some flower boxes. I built some stuff. What else did I build? I built like this thing out of barrels that holds flowers, and been cleaning the pool, doing all the chemicals so we can swim, all the fun stuff. Weed whacking. Don't even get me started on weed whacking right now. I'm the most boring person on the planet, I just realized. Where'd you guys go?
He said I'm the most boring person on the planet.
You're just like, keep talking about boring things that you do every day.
Again, we almost went to Chicago because she was going to go there to see In This Moment, but we realized it was cheaper just to spend twice as much. The tickets were $75 for her to go to Rock on the Range, but she ended up spending $136 because they were sold out. But it was still cheaper than driving there to Chicago and back. But we almost were in your neck of the woods.
My mom is driving that drive right now. She's on I-65. She's coming out for a wedding and staying over here for the weekend.
Barrel of flowers?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her like 7 fucking barrels of flowers, okay? No, yeah, she's coming out for a wedding and gonna hang out, meet her new boyfriend. That'll be fun. Maybe go in the pool if it's ready. And pet this tiny little dog.
It's really warm where you are then. I haven't been outside yet. I don't know how warm it is here.
It's usually about the same temperature where you are and where we're at. We're like the same level, just
I'll have a
further
nice
down.
To drive in. I'm probably gonna go get something to eat when the show is over.
That's like 75. That's surprising to hear that you have a drive-in. There's
the second oldest drive-in in the country. Look, hey D-Lake, can you look up Lynn Drive-In real quick? You want to talk about entertainment, friends? This is entertainment and a piece of history. I mean, not like World War II history, but modern history. You don't get the second oldest drive-in. It's just nice to go there. They haven't changed it a lot. They had to, and they did this on purpose. they were going to have to shut down if they didn't go to digital video last year because they wanted to keep it classic for as long as they could continue to buy that footage, and they're not making it anymore. So they had to do it. They had no choice. But it was
that's
pure
funny that you say that.
It was pure vintage until it was ruined for them.
The one by us had to do like a fundraiser to get digital projectors like last year.
So did ours.
Here you go, Sam. Lynn Drive-In Movies. Come as you are in the family car. See the stars under the stars. Ohio's oldest drive-in theater since 1937.
1937, indeed.
Open every night. Do they still have the little sound box that you put on your car, or can you tune in on your radio?
Yes, they could do it on the radio, and you have the sound box, both. You have either one.
So it's kind of Dolby surround sound.
Yeah, and which is good because my van has a crap. I should take a boom box. I should remember. I need to go to the dollar store and buy a boom box and some batteries because my radio in my car, to say it sucks, it would have to get better just to suck.
All right, Sam. Well, playing on screen one are Disney's Tomorrowland. I almost said Disneyland's. I guess that would be appropriate too. Tomorrowland. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I'm doing 2.
Okay, on screen 2 is Mad Max Fury Road, and the what I heard is a terrible movie, Hot Pursuit.
I've never even heard of Hot Pursuit. What is it? I have no clue.
Yeah.
You're the entertainment king. What is it?
What's her name? It's oh man, what's the chick that was just in that movie Wild where she was walking really far? 5, do you know? Renee Zellweger? No, not
Maybe I'll turn my car around and watch the other screen.
One of those other white young actress chicks.
Sorry, I'm looking up the drive-in theater by us because we have one by us too, and the reviews for it. One of the reviews literally just says, "I don't like drive-in movie theaters."
Oh, thank you. Very constructive.
Thanks for your help. Yeah, right. Like that doesn't help me. I want to hear a review from somebody who does like them as to whether this one is good. Oh, ours is from the 50s, it says.
I have to know that chick's name. Hot Pursuit.
I wonder how many people we have watching this that don't know what a drive-in movie is. I just thought of that.
Have you ever been to the Dixie?
Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon is what I meant to say.
Reese Witherspoon is in this? It's gonna suck.
Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara, and I heard the comedy is just
and I, maybe
really
we should
bad.
Park in the back of
Not
the
even
drive-in.
funny.
Because since the van door is open, we can turn and look out the back of the van and watch the Avengers on the other screen.
But you can't hear it, can you? Or can you tune in?
Because Tomorrowland looks like it's going to be dumb, too. So I'm stuck no matter which way I do this.
I've heard mixed reviews, but I heard it looks awesome, the special effects.
Really? Maybe we should do Tomorrowland and Avengers. What is Hot Pursuit about? It looks awful.
Yeah, Hot Pursuit is an uptight and by-the-book cop tries to protect the outgoing widow of a drug boss as they race through Texas, pursued by crooked cops, and murderous gunmen.
Oh, that could be funny. That could be funny.
It could be, but apparently it's not. It's got a 4.8. I don't know.
Dude, we go to the drive-in like once or twice, usually every summer, and I'll put like a mattress in the bed of my truck, and we'll bring like a little radio. And I'll bring the pup.
In the car.
Does the whole parking lot smell like a big cloud of weed, or what goes on there?
Oh,
never
mind.
Never.
Dude,
ever.
I usually you can bring at the one by us. You can bring a cooler, and so I'll bring a cooler filled with like beer. And whiskey.
I've got some Apple Reds going down with me. Yes, I do.
Okay.
It is so much fun, and you just like watch the movie.
Red is, right? Do you got that out there?
What's that?
Apple Reds, you got those out there?
Apple Reds?
Hey, Christelle, could you please get me one of those Apple Reds for the video camera, please? Oh, these are delicious. The only thing that's better than this, we have these beer out here. There's some good entertainment for people that are still with us, if anybody ever would be.
Kroger.
The Angry Orchards are absolutely delicious.
Are you talking about Reds?
Reds is a different beer. Reds isn't as good as Angry Orchard, but it's almost as good. Yeah, D-Lake's got it up already. That's good because I don't think Christelle's in the house.
That's the stuff you're talking about, Reds, the one that it's manly apple beer.
Oh, I have
That
no
one.
idea what the commercial. Yeah,
They have
I've got
commercials, yeah.
I've
It's
got
alright.
those sitting in my fridge. But the one that's even better is the Angry Orchard. If DLA can find it.
Angry
Those,
Orchard is good.
oh my God, are those good?
Dude, have you ever had, there's an Angry Orchard, it's in like the fancy beers if you ever go to like the liquor store, and it's like probably like an 18-ounce bottle, but it's like $13.
No. Ooh.
We bought one once just because we were like, fuck it, like how good could this $13 bottle of Angry Orchard be? It was pretty good. It was alright.
Sure was.
Oh yeah.
And
Jamie's obsessed with
also,
those.
have you ever had not your grandfather's root beer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that good? Oh, we just got that down here. It just
You're
arrived.
talking to an alcoholic, Sam.
It just arrived 2 or 3 months ago, and it was well. You know what I drink at work? Everyone's gonna be like, ugh, but I'll tell you why. You're not really allowed to drink at work, but sometimes, you know, hypothetically, if a DJ's been there for like 9 years and it's 1 o'clock in the damn morning and you close at 2:30, and he's 42 years old, always does his job well, and is heavy enough to be able to hold alcohol, you might just leave him alone. If this was to happen, of course. I always do 151 because drinks are $7. Well, you give 10. You're going to spend $20. I spend $20. You drink 2 150. You're good. You don't need a third one. You're good.
Hey guys,
you can have a third one, but you don't dare go over that.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy Noah is now doing his family owns a restaurant, and he's doing the Josie's in Austin, Texas. Everyone, please check that out. And he's doing like the beer buying and that sort of thing, apparently. And he asks me on a private message, can you, well, I guess it's not that private if I'm talking about it. Can you get Firestone Walker where you are, question mark. Guys, have you ever heard of Firestone Walker?
No, I've only heard, not that I know of.
I don't think I've seen it either. He said, I can send you money or cool Texas beers for trade. I've got a peanut butter stout called Sweep the Leg.
I wouldn't like it, but my bass player loves stouts. Oh yeah, my bass player would be
peanut butter stout called Sweep the Leg.
Shout out Billy D.
It's got a
dude. Did you know what like
Cobra Kai emblem on the label? It's effing good. I can get all sorts of cool beer here.
We have a listener.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
I was watching this thing about. I forget where I was listening to it, but it was like somebody was talking about how in other countries, like way back in the day, like like 200 years ago, that would be a thing. That like say like D-Lake traveled from like California to fucking I don't know Hawaii or some other country, Japan all the time. Like say he traveled to Japan all the time. Whenever he went to Japan, he would bring like a gallon of American whiskey, and he'd have like a deal with a bar in Japan where you drink all the sake you want while you're there in town whenever you're there, and every time you just bring them a gallon of American whiskey. Like
yeah, I'd totally be walking around with whiskey like it was the Book of Eli, trading it for other cool stuff.
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. We'll go somewhere. Christelle never likes to try anything new. I'd be like, oh no, like we go to Subway, she almost always gets the turkey. And they'll have something new, and I'll be like, oh, let's try that. And then after you get one, if you can, like, sneak away for her to try out, oh, those are good, then she'll go to those. I love trying new stuff, but I must admit, I ordered this chocolate beer once and didn't realize that, because I'm not a real big dark beer drinker, although I can, my bassist loves them, so I know what the good ones are. That peanut butter one, shout out to our listener, he'd love that, by the way.
Do you guys recognize Firestone Walker in your area? Do you have this Union Jack IPA Pale 30?
No, but I'd like to try the IPA or the Pale.
Isn't the Mason-Dixon line? Isn't that a thing? Like
the Mason-Dixon line is a thing. What do you mean?
Isn't that like the thing with like alcohol, like from Smokey and the Bandit? Like there's
Coors. That's Coors that they were trying to smuggle out.
No, but it's more than one thing like that. I don't think it still is necessarily, but that used to be a thing. Is like there's different.
Is that what it is? Aha.
Yeah, there's different distributors, and so like a lot of things.
I thought it was alcohol content.
No, I think it has to, because it's the same thing with like you can't get.
I always wondered. I always
Yingling
wonder.
here. Like, can you get Yingling where you're
Yeah.
at, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get Yingling here because of, like, distributors and stuff. So there's no Yingling in Illinois, or at least Northern Illinois.
And it
Wow.
has to do with the
Sucks.
Mason-Dixon line?
No, that's like a part of it, but like that's like there's different lines where there's different distributors, and so and one of them I think is the Mason-Dixon line, right? Wasn't that the thing with the Coors?
Well, it's just funny to me because I was just making stickers this week at stickerjunkie.com where you can make stickers that say whatever you want. And
They look wicked.
This weekend, Memorial Day weekend, if you buy 1,000 stickers, you'll get an extra 500 stickers of that same design for free. And you can use the promo code Summer Savings to save even more money. But where I was going is I just made a sticker this week that was the Mason-Dixon Dirt Slingers, and they're
Is
like
it a band?
No, it's like racing. Like
Oh, okay.
ATV and tractor and all kinds of cool, dirt slinging racing going on there. You know what I mean?
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So I mean, the sticker was like a cool circle sticker with like a tire, and then like the image in it was the American flag and the Confederate flag like crossed, like kind of like a Civil War kind of thing. And when I was at the bar last night with my friend, there was a commercial that featured the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard, and I said, "Hey, look, watch this commercial. You'll never see the roof of the car in this commercial because the roof of the car has the Confederate flag on it, and so they don't show that anymore when it comes to the General Lee." You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I remember when I went to Universal Studios as a kid, and they had a car carrier with like 13 General Lees on it, and then the next lot had like 14 friggin' Knight Riders.
Yeah, there's a place up here, the Volo Auto Museum, that has a ton of cars. Like,
Yeah,
it's
the
been
old
mentioned
Batmobile.
in things
Do they have
before.
that?
Yeah, they got a Batmobile. They got a
I've seen-
Batmobile.
Yeah, I saw that at a car show when I was a kid too.
They
I don't
like
know.
cycle them out because like the way they work, I think what they do is a lot of the cars they make them, and so they're like always for sale. So they'll have like a DeLorean there, like
Oh,
all
Back to the
decked
Future?
out, like Back to the Future. Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's got a price tag on it. Like if you want, you can walk out with that fucking DeLorean. Like same
Okay.
thing. Like I remember they had like a ton of General Lees. I think it was connected to them somehow, but I remember I was driving past a lot, like locally in the area, maybe like 2 years ago, and there were literally just like 50 General Lees, and I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, I think it might have had to do with the movie when they made the movie a few years ago,
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
and it was just like, yeah, they're the supplier or whatever.
Wasn't Jackass in that, and
Yeah.
the Goon and
Stifler, Johnny Knoxville.
Stifler
Right?
and Knoxville and what was that chick that was Daisy Dukes? Not Jessica. Something.
Was
Simpson.
it Jessica Alba?
Jessica Simpson?
Mm. Yeah, Jessica
Is that it?
Simpson, you're right.
I just missed her right around that time at Best Buy. I was like 10 minutes like after she was just at the Best Buy in Santa Fe.
Wait, what?
Like,
Does she live
was,
out there?
She was there making an appearance, like buying some stuff, and like 10 minutes later I got there, and everyone was abuzz that Jessica Simpson was just there, and I just missed it. And
Oh.
she was wearing like Daisy Dukes, and I was like, oh fuck, I missed that. I wanted to see that. I wanted to grope her.
That's one thing that would be so cool about living in LA. Like, you'd have to see
yeah.
celebrities, like everything, right?
My buddy was the air marshal.
Like, you go out to a nice restaurant.
Yeah, my buddy was an air marshal flying from LA to New York, and he was always sitting next to somebody.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
your friend's Wesley Snipes, right?
Yeah, I was sitting next to LL Cool J, and then like we started rapping, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Then Terrace took over and he went into the bathroom, but the Terrace saw the phone cord going into the bathroom. And they found him, so he just acted like a tourist.
Yeah. He turned into Liam
You guys seen
Neeson
that
on
movie?
the plane.
Say hi to
Now,
everyone.
all I know is I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. I saw the Kings.
Dude, that's gotta suck for Sam Jackson. Every time he's on a plane, somebody's like, "Come on, man, say it."
Hey, man, I know. He's like, every time I fly now, I have to say the motherfucking snakes on the Monday to Tuesday plane.
What happens if there's fans in the front of the airplane that want him to say it, but as he was walking down the aisle, he noticed there's like nuns 3 rows back.
Yeah.
What's he do?
I'm sick and tired of this
have you noticed
playing on the dub? No, Kyle, what?
Have you noticed that there's some celebrities who just like love it, and other celebrities who just like they can't stand shit like that?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've seen like
Yeah.
one day I was just flipping through like one of like People magazine or whatever at work, bored, and it was like all the pictures of like, look at what this celebrity wore in public, and you know like all the girls with like different dresses and stuff, like, oh, that doesn't match and bullshit. And there was one of Jack Black. And Jack Black was out with like his toddler son who was in like overalls and a red shirt, and he had on like the exact same overalls and red shirt, but it wasn't like normal overalls. It was like adult overalls that were made to look like baby overalls. It's like that dude's just fucking loving it. He's just fucking with these people.
Yeah, he's just going with it. He was wearing his George H.W. Bush socks.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like George W. Bush is just like, whatever, I'm gonna wear
Bush
weird socks.
Right?
Oh yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah, they're funny.
All right, guys. Well, I got people coming over. My mom's
Yeah,
coming.
how
in.
you feeling? I like the camera view. Are you on like a porch or something? Or out
Yeah,
of...
this is my. I'm building a screened-in porch. It's not done yet, but
That looks pretty fresh, dude.
I don't know how far I can get with Wi-Fi.
Well, before you end up with anything like
Looking good. Kyle,
You're
I
gonna
want you to come out to my house and just do a bunch of handyman shit for me.
It's my shit.
Can you come over to my house and build a bunch of like back decks and crap?
You pay for the plane ride. Give me somewhere to sleep. I'll build whatever you want. I'll bring my
All right.
tools.
Man, that sounds good.
tools on a plane.
Yeah.
Tools. On the plane.
I'd see that movie.
Kyle, Sam, wrap this up. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I want to talk to you guys off air real quick before one of you go. But yes, guys, you can find. Are you want to go for? I'm watching Kyle walk. I thought he was walking until his internet shut off as a joke. He's not. He's going back in.
No.
All right, you want to close out, Kyle?
All right, I'm Kyle. You can find me on the internet, themediaspeaks.com. The Media Speaks on Twitter. The Media Speaks on Facebook. Go on the internet, type in The Media Speaks. You will find us.
Oh wait, that's not Helena though. Who's that? That's the new dog, Chico or something.
That's Cheeks. That's Chico.
What up, Chico?
He's fat.
Love that dog, dude.
Yeah.
If you come out and stay at my house and build me shit, you gotta bring that dog. I want.
He'd probably love it. That's close to his native land. Because my dogs are Mexican. We're an interracial family. This guy's all muscly. He's got like big old leg muscles.
They probably taste like chorizo.
Yeah, I just said that yesterday. I'm not even joking. I was like, if I made you into sausage and put you on a pizza, you'd be chorizo. That's what I said.
Yeah, it would be delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, that's storable food right there, right?
That is, yeah, well, exactly. If shit ever hits the fan, I actually say that to them, too. I'll be holding Helena, and I'll be like, if shit ever hits the fan, I'm going to eat you. Chico knows a word.
But...
Check this out. Chico knows a word. Chico. Outside? Outside?
Oh, what? Like, outside? Yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, he knows a word.
Okay.
So, yeah, go to mediaspeaks.com and Nosehair515 on YouTube, I guess.
And David Lake on YouTube. And make sure to check out last night's super special rant, You're a Faggot.
All right.
I love you guys.
Did you say your stuff, Sam?
No, not yet. You can find me at youtube.com/thecorrectviews. Also, I'm not sure what awful name it has, but I'm sure if you look up Judas Priest live within the last week, you'll find my page till I get around to renaming it. But the fun stuff, the stuff you need to know about, the news stuff, the correct views at hotmail.com. You can donate to the show. You can find the correct views on YouTube. I'm also on Tumblr. I think I'm the only person who is, and of course, Planet Infowars.
Real quick, guys, I have an update on the video that I just made last night called "You're a Faggot." In the thumbnail picture is a picture of Judge Judy that says, "You're a faggot, case dismissed." Aaron Dykes of Truth Stream Media just commented, "I hate when Judge Judy calls me a faggot." And so do I, everyone. Please check out that video. Check out themediaspeaks.com. I'm D-Lake for Prez, David Lake of themediaspeaks.com, best reporter that you've ever known in your whole life. Thank you.
The best one.
Let me give myself a round of applause. Thank you. Yes, I am the best. I'm an egomaniac, and that's the way I do it.
All right, we're good? We're done here?
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Everybody's good? All right. Go on the internet.